Morning, everybody. I'm gonna just pop into some random X spaces this morning and find out exactly what the hell is going on in the Twitter sphere. Uh, I'll do that a little bit randomly until right around 6 a.m. We're gonna jump into the Russian General's morning show. This is the General. His handle is at 1776 General underscore. And then Rush is his co-host. He talks about the Ethnic American Project. When we discuss the Ethnic American Project, we're trying to get Americans to know their own identity and what it is to be an American. Right now, I'm just going to go find us an interesting space to hang out in where there's a good conversation going. And then if anybody has any questions, you can always hop in the live chat. I'm turning it on right now. All right, live chat's on. I do pay attention to the live chat, even if my camera's off. And you can throw a question in there, and if I am able, if it's for me personally, I can come in and answer it pretty quickly. If you have a question for the X space that you'd like me to ask, I will have to request a mic inside the space and raise my hand and wait for my turn to speak. So that's kind of how the X spaces work. But I will do that. I doubt anybody's even going to watch this little preamble because there's nobody in here right now. But anyway, let's find us a dang space to get into. We got GR's in here. Let's see what the hell's going on in here.
GGR, you're going to get brought back up, but can I let True Irish just speak? And guys, please just stick together. Just for me, if you are my friend, as I know that both of you are, please just be a little bit quiet and be respectful of each other, just for me, because if you're disrespecting me as a host on here, I love both of yous, and please forget the past or what you have said in the past. We're looking for the future here just now, so I'm going to draw a line in the sand for yous here, but if you do step out of line, there's a lady here, and I don't like talking to ladies, but please don't leave, guys, please don't leave. Yeah, right, I'm going to go and see my nan, she's shouting. Please listen to True Irish for a wee minute, and please don't leave, guys. It's respect for me, and I love yous, yeah?
Yeah, look, thanks for that, Ordinary. Look, the tension worldwide is palpable for a start, like we know that. And it's nothing we can't get through. The deal is with Air Irish, with Red and with Red and White there, put up and whatever you help with Air Irish. The problem is now, look, putting your name and face out there is going to come with consequences. But at the same time, does it outweigh saving the country? Of course it doesn't. You have to save the country, and anybody that's doing this and involved in this is taking a risk, and you're going to get attacked on social media. You're going to, and public opinion is going to change of you, obviously. But you have to be prepared for that. And here's the issue: you have to be prepared to save people who actually don't know what's going on in their communities and don't want to know. Like, we can call them whatever we want. Some people call them lefties or conservative liberals, whatever. Those people don't know yet that we're actually trying to save them, because the truth is the Irish government is coming for their houses too, and they don't know that. So we can't even be angry with them. I'm not angry with them anymore. There's no, you're wasting oxygen arguing with them at this point. They will thank you eventually, but eventually it's too long away. Eventually it's too far away. Right now, what we do is We get our council together, and it's going to have teething problems. Don't get me wrong, it will.
Thank you, number one.
You need to have the courage to back up the person that's putting their name and face out there, because they're going to need help more than ever. And it's not an easy number. Look, even internally in Ireland, they're going to be coming for you. I can guarantee that. But nobody knows. Nobody was going to put their name forward for my county, which is Donegal, right? Nobody was going to do it because they were afraid. But the local communities around here need somebody to talk for them. And that's basically what I think it is. Because here, there was, a week ago today, there was, it's actually an iPass centre, which was told, the community was told it was for, Ukrainians. Okay, then I knew that was a lie last year when I ran for the locals. I said, that's a lie. And there was a stabbing last week, and not one councillor came forward and talked about it. Okay, it was in the newspaper and stuff like that. But the locals came to me and said, why aren't you doing something about this? And I said, I didn't get elected because you laughed at me. And this older woman said, well, they're not laughing now. And I said, but look, I'm not in a I told you so camp. I'm not in that anymore. These people that don't know, then they will be educated a different way. We'll tell them and say, okay, I didn't know that. But they need a voice, and they need someone who has just no fear. Look, I said it before. The time for fear is over. You have to get out on the streets. This is called the Forgotten County, okay? And it's called Forgotten for a reason, because nobody talks about it. You get Neil McConnell, fair enough. He's brilliant. He's a good friend of mine. But he's not putting his name forward. And then I get a lot of other councillors who would only want to put their name forward if they could put their political party forward. This is non-political. This is the people's voices. That's why we the people. That's what it means, you know. So it's locals coming together saying, this is what's happening, I'm not happy about this, and then you've got a representative that'll say that and allay those fears. And again, it is what it is. I'm happy to represent my county and the country, and whatever, if it comes to talks, which it will do eventually, and the council sits there, we talk about this, then the time for egos and all that stuff is gone. It's not about egos. You either want to save your country or you don't. If you don't want to be part of that, or if you're in to disrupt, and we find out that you're one of a disruptor and you don't want to sit at the table, then stay away from the movement. We do not have the time. We honestly don't. It's coming into the winter, and things are about to get ramped up. And I know one Brit abroad there, and you know what? Fantastic, you're a great man. Yes, we fell out. And I love the fact that we can just go, okay, we draw a line in the sand, and that's it. That's what I love about it. The fact that we're big enough to say, okay, we had an argument. Myself and Red and White fell out, and we sorted it out like men. This is the way it should be sorted out. And thank God we're the best of friends now. And quote, one Brit abroad, absolutely, you put me in my place, and you were absolutely right. And guess what we done? Moved on. That's how we sort this out. There's no online bitching back and forth here and there. So I'm happy enough. If I make a mistake, tell me, please. I love the truth. I really do. We're never going to get anywhere without telling the truth in life. And it might hurt. And Red and White, you your hand up there, pal. But thanks for
I got my hand up before he
Yeah,
had.
just quickly before I let anyone speak, I'll let you all speak. Thank you very much, true. And what you said there is true. Yes, we may all have health. We may from different parts, may have different beliefs, but please align in the sand, especially in this space, because we've got True, we've got Quota, we've got Lady Sheila, and we need Lady Sheila, it's a lady that's with us, yeah? So let's just treat everyone as an equal, yeah? We don't want to hear about the past.
Hold me. I think we might be blowing it out of context. Me and True didn't clash. We were just two bucks who put our horns against each other, drew the line. That was it. There was no fallout or anything like that.
No, he's talking about what
I was
took place between me and Red and White.
Oh, sorry, I just
Correct.
Sorry.
And that's what it is. It's nothing between you. Me and True had it all and all the rest of it. And it is between JG and Red. Guys, I love both of these. Please just stay with me. And again, those are your views, but guys, let's just move on it. What True said, we've not got any room for that at the minute, because different things are happening. And my nan's in her hospital bed just now. I need to raise her, get her out, and put her in her chair. And she's going to be listening to this as well. So if we just keep it true, keep it good. Quote and Irish, we were having a laugh about that. I love JGR, I love Red, and again, we just need to put our differences aside, just for us. And the thing is, I'm going to have to like just come off for speaking, but my nan's listening in, so we've got Lady Sheila here. Yeah, who's an older, genuine lady, and I've got my nan listening in as well. So yeah, just carry on and bring it on just now. JGR, have a talk, a Red, and guys, let's just let JGR and Red, just see if they bring the men out and have a talk. But remember, Sheila's listening, and we've got my grand. He's all.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that right now these invaders are mostly getting paid. They're getting funded. You pull that funding plug from them, all right, and they're going to try to go to war. That's what they're going to try to do first, okay? So you stomp a few of their fucking asses out, like the most violent ones, you know, you do it in a handy fashion. And then the rest of them are going to line up to get on boats and get the fuck out, all right? It's kind of easy, you know, it's a lot easier than you think as far as getting these motherfuckers gone. 12 million. Like I said, you just don't, you know, treat them with so much hospitality. Don't extend so much fucking European hospitality to all these goddamn niggers and watch them leave.
Right. So JG, you've got the solution there. Brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. What we need to do is first see your country sorted from your solution, then we can test it on our own.
What's that? You want to do what? See us implement said solution? All right,
well,
man.
You just said you've got the solution, bud.
So right now,
so I think
right,
we need to.
As soon as I can
handle
the reins of fucking power, you're gonna see some shit change a lot, real fucking fast. How about that, motherfucker? Huh?
Well done, mate. Well done. You go save your country, mate. Yeah, go on, crack on. Guarantee you.
All right, mate. All right, mate. We got guns at least, mate. We got a hell of a lot better opportunity, mate.
Yeah, and you can't even use them against the immigrant
problems taken care of.
You're an absolute joker. You're armed to the teeth with guns, and you can't even keep immigrants out of your own country.
Exactly.
So shut the fuck up.
If Ireland had the guns, we would be fucking sorted within a weekend.
Guys, I'm sitting here with my grandmother now, and I'm moving her. She's asked, please tell those guys to shut up. Yeah? Now, JGR is still there. My grandmother's listening. If anyone comes on and I hear any disrespectful, I'll end the space and I'll remove you. Now, it's up to you. If you like me, if you don't like me, I will remove you. Yeah? And again, when I move my grandmother, true Irish, you have the reins, my friend. And do what's true for you, true Irish, and true for everyone else. Right? I've removed JGR. I couldn't listen to that anymore. Let's be nice. I'm going to move Nan. She's listening in. So yeah, carry on, guys.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, sorry, Nana.
Yeah, sorry about that. That space was kind of it was spicy about a couple guys arguing or whatever, but it was kind of gay. But a lot going on. Let's see what's going on in this. FBA will never get reparations. Immortal is a cook bitch. FBA, if y'all don't know what FBA stands for on Twitter or X or whatever, FBA is Foundational Black Americans. It's a group of black people. They call themselves. They believe that they founded the country, that they invented everything. The white man didn't do shit. We just took credit for all their work or some, I don't know, some other nonsense. But let's hop in here and see what the hell they got going on.
States were sending, like Texas, Chicago were sending their staff there too, and their water crafts. Even Canada was sending everything, and it took like after 5 days to like get it under control. But then now it's going to be like the rebuilding is going to be so hard because again, regulations and these people who are so woke, it's insane. There's common sense people in California and good people, but it's just like the bigger cities that are just fucking stupid. Outside of the bigger cities, like people are common sense folks, but they're the ones who are punished. California is nice place. Like,
Yeah, we need to fix the housing problem.
it's the developers. They're the ones just passing the bills. Like, they don't want to build any more single housing. They just want to build condos. Like, who wants a condo?
Well, there's a lot of those, the United Nations and the NGOs, they have set up, like people say, the 15-minute cities. There's some truth to that. And
There's truth to
also,
that.
it's not like actually gonna like lock you in, but like there's also some truth to the way suburbia was built. It wasn't efficient. We also don't want to people.
Yeah, I don't know. That space is kind of fucking retarded to me. I'm gonna hop in. I know this coffee and bacon one usually has some good info. We'll jump in there for a little while until the Rush and the General start up. The Ethnic American Broadcast, which I know is a pretty good space for hanging out and getting some world news, getting some strategy, getting a little bit of history. There's a lot of really smart, cool people that go in there and hang out and chat. And so we'll go join them when they start their space. Usually shortly after 6 o'clock is when that happens. It's 5:55 my time. But we'll go hang out in this in Marlin's space for a little bit. If y'all don't mind hitting the like button for me, it helps with the algorithm. I know y'all already know that, but I really appreciate it, man. I mean, I'm not really trying to make no money on this channel. Just trying to find friends to hang out with, and you know, we can hang out in live chat and chill and whatever. So here we go. I'm gonna hop into to Marlin's space right here, or Alan's running it. Coffee and bacon is what it's called, and it's like, this is just usually morning news type stuff. If y'all have any questions or whatever, again, I got the live chat on and I'm paying attention. So here we go.
Rocky Top, Alan. Let's go.
Well, that would run away my co-host, right?
What's that? Yeah.
He's probably sitting in the basement right now. I started whistling Rocky Top. I mean, I was just asking for it.
That don't mean I can't now.
You're right ahead, Bill. What you doing?
I see you got Marlon out of bed early.
Marlon. Yesterday, did you miss yesterday?
I don't remember seeing his face yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. It seemed like I seen a tweet or something where he was sick or something. There's some crud going around, man. Yep, got the thumbs up for Marlon.
Y'all were talking about Alabama looking for a coach. I'd say Florida's going to be looking.
It would not surprise me if that South Florida coach don't end up in Florida.
Yeah, Sunbelt Billy's on here. He's dead man walking, I think.
And I'm telling you what, that they're playing Miami this weekend.
Oh boy.
Miami.
Yeah, South Florida
Yeah.
That would be wild, dude. But I would love
that.
it.
Would be that. Those people will be playing in the friggin'.
About it now. Looks like we're finally going to put the script on this whole thing. So that's a big deal. I saw a clip this morning of Tom Cotton going after the CEO of Kroger. CEO of Kroger was forcing Christians to wear that faggot patch. And they had to fire him. They ended up having to pay out $180,000 lawsuit on it. And he just railed the CEO of Kroger for the faggot patch on their uniform, their aprons they wear. So again, times are turning. things are changing fast. We even had that fat cow Randy Fine calling for the judges to have to answer for having to answer for all these people that they let out. So he's proposing a law that if the judges let these violent criminals out and then they commit another crime, that the judge will be held accountable for it. Which I don't disagree. All these DEI judges have been doing this deliberately. They need to be held accountable. But it's great to see everybody shifting on this. That young girl, I mean, how many times have we just blasted this kind of thing out there and got nothing in response? And now we have Trump even talking about it, Elon blasting everywhere, that the game is changing. The black community they got a lot to answer for here. They're gonna be in deep trouble. Let me get this link out here, guys. Just give me 10 seconds so I can send this out real quick.
While he's doing that, if y'all don't mind hitting the like button and
a couple of you guys can come up, jump in there. I mean, I can't believe how fast things are shifting. Trump posted out yesterday the information on the mercury, heavy metals being put into all the vaccines. So he's starting to blast the vaccines. That's another huge win. I'll put that up in the jumbo if you guys want to see it. You know, when you have Trump going at these issues, black crime and going at drugs, you know, all these vaccines that are causing all these sicknesses, not just autism, but all types of sicknesses in America. That's a big deal. There's still people in the comments here. You know, when Trump comes out and starts exposing all this stuff, they can't help but themselves but to just cry about it. You know, it's like the guy is giving us wins. He's exposing the truth. Blast it out there. Expose the truth. Don't just sit there and keep crying. These guys, they don't understand what it means to move the Overton window. Crying about this shit is helping you. It's just making you look retarded. When you have the president of the United States, the most powerful nation on earth, blasting out facts and truths, that's not the time to cry about bullshit. It's time to blast it out there and spread the word and show everybody. You know, some of these guys, I think they just have a mental illness at this point. But Ivy and Zero, good morning. Good to see you guys here.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys? Yeah, I was just yesterday listening to one of the spaces. I always go anonymous. I don't want to. And they say this is PSYOP. This is something like, oh, she's from Ukraine, so must be some connection. People are just stupid. They are totally stupid people. If you don't understand that Trump shifting not only United States, all white countries. Look what happened just in France. Macron his government is fall, and now he has two solutions only. Of course, he will stay like president because they need him 2 years more for all this bullshit in Ukraine. But he has solution to find fifth now prime minister, and it will be very hard because the most of the seat in parliament are far right, or he can do election. If he goes with parliamentary election, the far right winning everything. So shift is so fast since Trump sit in office, and now they will have big march also in France in 36 cities for kick them all out. and it's fascinating for me how big shift is coming. I was just looking some clip on for Fox. You have Ben Shapiro and Jesse Waters, both of the Jew, and they are the one who will bring justice. And they're talking about white, black on white crime. Go fuck yourself. Sorry for my language. And I'm so happy because that's give even more future for my country who is not infected with all this shit. So we will not have problem that it's now in Western Europe, but the tides are shifting so fast. If he cannot dismiss Israel just like that. It's impossible for him. He will be killed. So what he's doing piece by piece is awesome. I really hope, I wish him all the best to just rid of all this bullshit. And
I agree.
Yeah, and I see that, but people are just in some fantasy world that everything is psyop, Tucker is psyop, this one, that one.
It's a mental illness that people have. Like when things are going their way, they can't just keep pushing it. Like I had the post from Trump exposing the vaccines. I mean, people have been screaming about vaccines causing health issues for 40 years, and now we're finally have it being exposed, and they're just like, they can't accept it. I have another clip up there too of Maduro, and Maduro is straight up admitting that he works for the international banking cartels. And what have we been saying this whole time for an entire year when everybody else was asleep? Trump's gonna take down the international bankers. And the way you do that is you hit them where they get their money, and the cartels are the ones who are funding all these guys. They're the ones funding the deep state. And here's Maduro admitting it on camera, trying to save his skin, but he's part of it. He's gotta get it.
They've killed about 8 of the far right. Not many so far.
Far right where? In America? Or
no, I believe it's UK.
In Germany, they've killed 11. They killed 11 of the politicians for the AfD party. All right. And these are politicians. They're trying to prevent these politicians from getting elected. Because like Ivy said, it's shifting so fast.
Yeah, the shift is going to be bad when the pendulum starts to swing the other way on this stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And good morning, Rush. Good to see you.
Hey, good morning, General. Perfect timing. And yeah, just so you know, you have a lot of feedback, Anu. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot happening very quickly, and I agree with you, Ivy. It's frustrating that we have a story that is productive in order to wake up our people here in America, because so many people in America act like they don't see race, even though they wouldn't get on a public bus because of that the same reason that girl was stabbed in the neck. And we have a story where we could push it and really wake up the American people, but there's so many of these people that they call themselves the Jewish noticers, and I've been arguing with them nonstop. This is a psyops. This is exactly what Israel wants. What? By not reporting it on the news? I mean, and they're like, well, talking heads on social media are talking about it. Everyone on social media is talking about it. It's becoming a massive news story on social media. And Elon Musk is going in the paint. I saw he responded to one of your posts yesterday, General. That's awesome.
Yeah, people that doesn't understand, but let me tell you something. I am racist, and if I was that girl coming to that bus, I will never ever sit next to them or near to them, and that's what's saving lives.
You can never let your guard down. Never let your guard down around them.
Well, so it was a train, Ivy, and you're European. You grew up in a homogenous society that was safe. Don't they ride trains in Europe? I mean, and Ukraine definitely. I've been to Kiev. They have an underground rail system there, and just like Hungary and Czech Republic. So I mean, it's normal for these people to get on a railroad and ride it and feel safe because she grew up in an homogenous society. Ukraine is like 95% Ukrainian, so it's sad that our country is not that safe place. The average ethnic American would not ride public railroad without being extremely cautious, looking where they're sitting, keeping their wits about them. I mean, it's extremely horrible, to see that woman was stabbed. I mean, I also saw the latest news where you can see him saying, "I got that white woman," and "I got that woman," and he repeated it twice. And as he said it, he was standing next to a group of like 3 white males, and they just like turned and looked at him. I mean, it was extremely odd. I mean, it must have been a quiet incident at the back of that train. I mean, this is just a crazy story, and the only reason we're hearing about it, this happened 2 weeks ago. The only reason we're hearing about it is because they released that video, when 90% of the cities in America will never release the video of these murder incidences, because they don't want to spur something like this, because 99% of the attacks are from the minority of the population rather than the majority. But Susie Q, good to see you. Jump on in there.
There are demons among us.
It makes me sick that it would be on every screen. Every screen and every business and every facility. If it were the other way around, there would not be a channel in America that wasn't showing.
Well, funnily enough, there was a Hispanic migrant that killed a black girl in Maryland, I believe, and that's kind of nowhere on the news either because it's a migrant. There's protected classes in our country, and I think it goes migrants, then blacks, and everyone else. But New Republic, we typically have hands on this space and a little bit of decorum. If we could let Susie jump on in there. Susie, good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning, Rush. Good morning, Gerald. As y'all mostly know, if you look at my page, I'm from North Carolina. My career was spent in Mecklenburg County court system. I was a criminal courtroom, superior courtroom clerk deputy. What you're seeing is what I saw for so many years. And I've been gone since 2008. It made me sick daily. Let me tell you, I was sickened daily. I used to tell people that I worked in hell, and I did. So, North Carolina.
Not everybody that comes
sucks.
in these spaces are great speakers.
This is not a good place to live. Where I'm at now is a good, peaceful, little, small town. But I tell you, if I drive 60 miles away, it's horrible. My son and his wife and my granddaughter moved away from there. And we put her in private school here to get her out of that hellhole. Charlotte is horrible. And it's not just Charlotte, it's Huntersville, it's South Charlotte, it's the whole thing. It's the whole county. I can't express to y'all how bad it is. It's horrible. The blacks there think they are gods. They do. And you want to know where road rage comes from in Charlotte, North Carolina, Mecklenburg County? That's the reason they think they own everything. So I'll just leave it there, and I just wanted to express my feelings about it. It's horrible.
Yeah, thank you so much, Susie. And I mean, it is horrible. It's I'm also from the South myself, and I know the situation of in the large, black populations, versus the rural areas and how safe and nice the rural areas can be. But those are starting to get flooded as well. But your point about you've been seeing this your whole career, I mean, it's a sad fact that you can look up FBI crime statistics and see 25 years of data. Looking at that statistics, you have to realize they combine white people with Hispanic people, so it skews those numbers. Even then, black people commit twice as many interracial murders against white people, that's thousands and thousands of cases. But it typically never gets reported because of the Office of CRS. We never even hear about these situations. The only reason we're hearing about the situation is because that local bus department released it. What do you think? Why do you think they released that?
Whoever released that is a hero.
Somebody released it off of that bus. And yes, they are a hero, but that goes on all the time. It's all the time, every day, 24/7. And let me tell you something. They spent billions of dollars and built a new jail. They spent billions of dollars and built a new, after I left, they built a new, it opened up not long after I left, the new courthouse. There, and they're across the street. And there's tunnels under there. I've been through there. I know all about it. But and then I saw a post yesterday that one of the news stations puts out, and the sheriff bragging about in the jail. They got a friggin' a sound audio recording studio in the friggin' jail. What? They got it better than we do. Y'all know that, right? The prisoners have it better than we do.
They all have tablets now they can text on. Or do whatever.
I sent people through there like cattle. And if you were white, you got the book through at you. I'm going to tell you that's for a fact. And black ones, I've seen them come through there and just, it's the same thing over and over. And it just used to deter me so bad. I mean, there was, when I first went to work in the court system, in the courtroom part, I used to I'd drive home and just cry because I couldn't believe what was happening. There was people that it would destroy their family. The first offense, if you were white, you got the book through at you. And if you're black, I mean, it was just a repetitive, just like that guy that killed that girl. 14 felonies, folks. That is in North Carolina known as a habitual felon. There is no way he should have ever been on the streets of North Carolina by the North Carolina structure system. There's no way. So yes, these judges and that stupid woman that let him out, she can't even pass the bar, and that goes on. Oh y'all, I could go on and on and on. I'm sorry, y'all have. It just deters me. I had to just say it.
No, thank you for your real world experience in that same county. I mean, it's that's why I love having these spaces and being able to hear your on the ground experience of what it was like. And yet I know a lot of the mayors of that area are African American, because of the high African American population. But these city officials, a lot of the city officials are ethnic Americans, and I think that's the only reason we're seeing this is because of a city official that worked for the transportation department. They took that video and they released it. And you can, they put their emblem on it. They said they released it. But this wasn't released by the county or the sheriff's department or the police department. They don't want this stuff to get out there. They don't want this information to get out there. And the only reason anyone's talking about this video is because it was so great. You can't watch that. You can't watch an innocent sit down and relax, and watch their killer open up the knife, stand up. I mean, it's extremely visual, and that's the reason this is garnering a lot of attention. But to Susie's point, this is something that's been people. You're like, oh, this is a psyops. Why? Because MSNBC, CNN hasn't said it. Hasn't said anything about it. Single story on this. It's mind blowing how ignorant some people are. This is definitely not a psyops. We need, this is the everyday America, and we need to wake up our people to this everyday America. Try to push this stuff out there. But Zero, good morning, buddy. Jump in there.
Good morning. God bless everyone. Oh, okay, no problem. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it's these. I get mixed feelings about all of these things. Oh, I'm sorry, Rush.
No, I'm saying I don't really understand the hand thing. I'm sorry, dude.
Okay, we good?
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, good morning. Anyway, the world is a dark place. And a lot of the times we avoid all of these dark things that we don't want to see. And that's what we've been doing for a long time, because it's natural to not want to be around awful things and awful people. But like it or not, these are the things that are waking our people up. And the fact that they've been going on and on and on and on for decades, but something's changed. That video showed up. Somebody put it out there, a patriot, somebody that cared. So the world is changing, and we're seeing it for what it really is and what it's probably been all this time. But it's our world in America.
I champion it. We need to see this. I champion it. We need to see this. We need a huge change in our country, one way or another. And the biggest change is we have to collectivize again. It's the only way our people are going to come together. But Brock, jump back in there, buddy.
Hey, good morning, Brock. Good morning. Good to see you guys. Amazing space. I was listening to a few minutes of that. Susie, great story there. I noticed that Elon replied to your post, General, yesterday. It's amazing. Finally, some coverage of some of this stuff. And I don't know if you guys talked about that. With respect to our corrupt judicial system, which I also am kind of a pseudo, wouldn't say expert, but certainly very informed on it. This story about the Ukrainian woman has gutted, I think, the entire country. It is just so tragic and it's so sad. We all wish that we could have done more, and the fact that no one stepped in after the fact maybe the video is incomplete, so we don't really know, but you would wonder if someone tried to at least take that guy down and make sure that the police arrived to arrest him. But yeah, we have a very corrupt system. I'm a victim of that. As everyone knows, I'm in this gag order situation. I've been in it for 10 years. If I say the wrong word, they'll come after me and try and throw the book at me. In 2015, my former lawyer who represented Derek Chauvin, Eric Nelson, represented me for a gag order situation. And that's kind of how it all began. And the George Floyd scenario in Minneapolis, where I'm from, the entire trial took place in a courtroom named after my family. I was at the naming ceremony. I nailed the judge's prayer into the wall. I'm very familiar with Peter Cahill, the chief judge of Hennepin County at the time. He made lunch for me in his chamber. So in terms of familiarity with how corrupt our two-tier justice system is, I certainly have seen both sides of it. And the fact that Peter Cahill would destroy the lives of Derek Chauvin and the rest of them, Tutau, Alexander King, and the other one, when George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose, I said this at the time, a Hennepin County district attorney at the time leaked the autopsy report to me. They didn't even want to present that at trial. They wanted to make it an evidentiary issue so that it was never known that George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. So yeah, I mean, we have a serious issue with how corrupt our judicial system is, and I tried my best to get that to Eric Nelson through attorney-client privilege, and Eric Nelson completely botched that situation. So I know I'm kind of going on a ramble about it, but it makes me very, very upset. But anyways, there's a lot of hope and there's a lot of optimism that we can do what we can to change and control the factors that we're in control of. And one of those positive things is the fact that Elon Musk is now picking all this up. And there's also a Banksy mural that was posted on Royal Court in London, which ironically I've also walked by a couple times. I was in London in 2022. And so when Banksy does something like that, you know that it's sort of in the zeitgeist in society so that we can finally make some progress on these issues. Good morning, everyone, and I'll yield my mic. Thank you.
Wow, I didn't realize you're. I know you're from that area, Brock. But I didn't realize obviously you were a part of that discussion, but I didn't realize you're so heavily involved in the discussion during the Derek Chauvin thing. I mean, wow, it's really cool connections. I mean, because it was a travesty. It's still a travesty. That guy's sitting in jail today, getting stabbed because the guy overdosed. The christened saint George Floyd. George Floyd was the big spur up in Black Lives Matter, but it really started during that what was it, Daryl Brown or something, Michael Brown shooting, and the entire lie where they had those CNN correspondent people sitting across the desk holding their hands up, don't shoot. That entire lie, that guy, it was pushed by his friend, Daniel Johnson. Well, then there's video of it. Daniel Johnson saying, and he put his hands up like this and they shot, and that's where the whole hands up, don't shoot comes from. That guy that lied, and then eventually came out it was a lie, and those cops had to go through lots of trials to prove that. That black guy got killed by another black guy yesterday at 33 years old now. He was, I think, 18 at the time, and it's been going on for a while. And that's what started Black Lives Matter. And the pinnacle of Black Lives Matter was the George Floyd, Derek Chauvin travesty. I mean, Derek Chauvin is the one that lost out in that case.
They also did a search.
Jesus did say that my kingdom is not of this world. Thank you for that. Hit the like button for me, brother.
This girl versus what they've mentioned about George Floyd. George Floyd was mentioned over 7,000 times in the media. This girl's 0. So that they're not that's the CRS, guys. Like that's literally the CRS. They go in, they hide all go look at every single news source that we're looking at right now on this case, and not one of them mentions the racial issue here, and that's because of the CRS. If it's a white person that commits a crime, they run out there and say, look at Whitey. But when anyone else does it, they do not mention it. They hide it. They try to, stifle it. So the CRS is still in full force. I just made another post up there. Are you fatigued yet? How fatigued are people really? Like, people are just so sick of this. And to the point where I saw Mike Benz going hard at Politico for not mentioning any of this. You have all the meme guys coming out on this. You know, everyone's just sick of it. Yeah, it's a license to kill for blacks, is what it is. The CRS, what the CRS of the DOJ represents, is a license to kill for black people. You know, this guy was arrested 14 times, and they still kept letting him out to go do this kind of thing. These judges need to be prosecuted. Like, give this guy the death penalty and put these judges in prison for life. You know, you want a life sentence? They don't want to give it to the guy? Well, we'll give it to you. If you're going to protect criminals, we're going to give you a life sentence. Why not? All these judges who have arrested all these people and continuously turned around and let them out. And the thing is they say that the prisons, like, all these judges are connected with the prisons, and they always say, well, they want more people in prison. They want more people in prison. Well, why aren't they putting these people in prison then? You know, these judges make a lot of money by putting these people in prisons and detention facilities, and they're just letting these people go back out. So whatever is causing them to let these people get out and roam free rather than putting them in prison where they make a bunch of money, it's got to be more powerful than all that money they would make if they put them in prison. Let that question sink in. What is more powerful than money for these judges? They've been making tons of money putting all these people in prison. And yet, there's a select group of extremely violent people that they seem to not put in prison. What is the agenda? And it's the CRS. The CRS is the agenda. And they're still operational. I think Trump is trying to reel them in and kind of gut them out, but they're still operational. They showed up with Austin Metcalf. They showed up on this Catholic school shooting. They're still around. They're still showing up. They're just trying to fly under the radar now. And they need to be put on blast because they're literally giving these people a license to kill. And it's absolutely insane. We're sick of it. And every single judge that's let that slide and every single member of CRS needs life in prison. Every single person working for CRS needs life in prison. They've helped to facilitate murders on a massive scale across the entire country. Violent crimes everywhere. The CRS is responsible for that. But yeah, and that's kind of my point of the post. Are you fatigued? You know, how much more of this are we willing to take of the CRS just giving these people a license to kill? But yeah, go ahead, Rush.
Yeah, speaking on that, I do think that Trump and his realignment with Doge and USAID, it is looking like their office is closed because they were posting every single week on X, but it's been absorbed by the Department of Justice. So I think it is, all those lawyers probably just moved over to the Department of Justice, and they're still trying to operate as this deviant thing within the Department of Justice, and we need to call it out. I do think they're short-staffed, though, because that 21-year-old staffer that was shot in New York City over the weekend, I believe his name was Eric. And initially they didn't release who killed, who was arrested, because apparently 2 people were arrested. The third person was not arrested yet. And they wouldn't release who was arrested or who they were looking for. And then finally they released who they were looking for. And of course it was an 18-year-old black male that killed this young 21-year-old intern fresh out of college trying to get his life started. And the other 2 guys that were arrested were also black males. Well, his mother actually has been doing interviews and she went on an X Space last night, and she was, you could tell she was a normie. She's a Trump supporting normie, doesn't see race type of thing. She got on there and she even admitted, she's like, this is about race, and you have to point it out. It's just the space was talking about the woman getting stabbed in the neck, and they mentioned her son, and she came on there and felt compelled to talk because they mentioned her son. And even a normie person is waking up to this. Everyone is waking up to this. That Overton window just got slammed open even further because of this stabbing incidents. It has really woken up a lot of people. So CRS didn't make it to her because she was saying all kinds of racial stuff, and it did sound like her. I went and tried to verify her voice with the Fox News interview, and she sounded pissed. It was pretty crazy. The hands, I'm sorry, Rev, you had your hand up. Jump in there, buddy. Good morning. Good to see you.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I apologize. That was a 100% that turned into a hand in the air, but thanks for the mic anyway.
I'm sorry, Rev. Your mic is really bad, buddy. It sounds like you're all the way down the Jew tunnel. I can't hear anything. Sorry, buddy. I know General hates Apple, but man, Apple makes some really good noise canceling headphones. I need Brock's headset though. Brock, you need to tell all of us what headset you're using, because you have by far the best sound quality out of anyone. But Barry, you came up, buddy. I don't know if you wanted to jump in there, or not to throw you on the spot. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, ethnic Americans. I wanted to touch on what Susie had said, about that Mecklenburg County. It's always been, democratically ran, but I'm going to tell you, it's not only Democrats. Right here where I'm at, there was a judge, Republican judge. He let a guy go 13 times for drunk driving, and when it came to voting time, I got to vote for the county judge, and I didn't vote for him. I didn't care if he was Republican or Democrat. I didn't vote for neither of them. So I see that it's not only the Democrats, it's also the Republicans. And another thing is that CRT or CRS. Never heard about it until I got into this space, and I'm starting to hear a lot more about it because of you guys, because of Rush General, this space, Twiddle. He's done a lot of work on it, and I was in spaces yesterday, and that's what they were talking about, CRT or CRS, Community Relations Services, and so they're watching us, they're listening to us. They're getting our talking points. The word's spreading about it. And too bad, like you said, Rush, they ain't made no more comments, but they're probably working out of the, Justice Department instead now. But it's the toothpaste out of the tube. People are learning more and more. I mean, we got the stats that, General put out there, and Elon Musk responded to, and right there, Elon Musk groks it, and it tells you why, and the percentage, and boom. So that's telling you they're listening. They're listening to this morning's, talking points, and they're gonna get their talking points from here and spread it out. But the thing about it is, it is a plus. Unfortunately, it had to come to so many deaths before the truth comes out. But now that it's out, we gotta hammer the point down and keep this going and make more and more people aware of it. The only people I seen yesterday that had it on the news was Fox TV, and they were pretty compelled to do it. But They even put up how much airtime it got compared to that George Floyd, and they were the only ones. And they said CNN put it out once, and that was it. And you watch today, you see how many more people put it out. Hopefully, all the other news stations put it out. So, this part is. Go ahead.
Trump is talking about it now, so the news networks can't really hide from it when Trump starts talking about it. I don't think this isn't going back. And like you said, the toothpaste isn't going back in the tube. I put a post up there from Gunther Eagleman too, and look at it. It says, San Francisco Transit, we refuse to release crime surveillance videos because it will make people racist. If people see the crime footage videos, it will make people racist. And who's behind that? The CRS. The CRS is the one behind all of this. They're terrified of people becoming racist. And it's like, well, so you just want to kill people then, right? Like you're preventing people from seeing the truth because apparently to them the truth is racist. The truth is racist for CRS, so they have to protect everybody and not tell you how violent these people really are, so that you get on a train and you sit down and you're not worried about it and then get stabbed in the neck to death. This is the kind of thing. And then they get these guys, and what the CRS does, by the way, the CRS will go into the victims, like with that Austin Metcalf case where the father, it wasn't even 24 hours later, and the father is saying, oh, I forgive the kid. Yeah, blah, blah, bullshit. Your son's body's not, your son's body's not even cold yet, and you're sitting there saying that? That's nonsense. And then you see the same thing with that little toddler that got beaten half to death by that lady that worked at the place where he was sending the kid. And it's like, then the father says, oh, I forgive her. And it's always the common theme. The CRS goes in there, gets a hold of these fathers, tells them, oh, you have to say this, otherwise you're going to create a race war and you're going to be responsible for it and blah, blah, blah. And then what they do is turn around and say, well, the parents and the family already forgave them, so the judge should just give them a very light sentence. And we've seen murderers, people that have murdered people, get 9 months in prison and out because they coerced the families into saying, I forgive the murderer. The CRS does this, and then they turn around and go to the judges and push on the judges to get very light sentences and put them back on the streets. So this is the CRS, and that's why I said the CRS is giving these people a license to kill. And then they go to San Francisco, look at Gunther's post up there in the Jumbotron, posted an hour ago. And San Francisco is saying we refuse to release the crime surveillance videos because it will make people racist. That is a statement directly from the CRS. Because they're protecting them, and they always have been. And we see these statements, by the way, going all the way back to the late 1960s, right after the CRS was put into law and developed. They started doing this shit. They started protecting the blacks, manipulating statistics, and that's why I made the post that I did that Elon responded to me on. I think it's up there in it's the free back or whatever, Elon's response to me. And I'll put up my main post right now so you guys can see. I show all these criminals, all these blacks and browns getting put into the system as white. And they're not white. But that's how the CRS goes in and manipulates the statistics by putting blacks and browns into the system as white, so that when we look at the crime statistics, it looks like, oh, white people are pretty violent and the blacks aren't as violent as we think they are. So they're manipulating the crime statistics. They're manipulating the victims' families. They're manipulating the courts. They're manipulating the press. They're manipulating the cities into not releasing surveillance videos. These guys, it is the biggest propaganda machine America has ever seen. Like, people talk about Operation Warp Speed all the time. This blows Operation Warp Speed out of the water by 1,000. By 1,000. It's 1,000 times bigger, and they have their hands in everything. They have their hands in the DOJ, the FBI, every single local municipality, the police stations, all the local courts. They have their hands in the media. They control what gets media attention. Why do you think everyone parrots this thing that, oh, whites are school shooters, whites are school shooters? It's the whites who are the school shooters. Do you guys know the percentage of school shooters? Whites are 3% of school shooters. 3%. But the media with the CRS will convince you whites are the only people who do school shootings. And the way they get around that is they put the blacks and browns in the category of gang violence. Oh, that was gang violence. That was gang violence. That wasn't a school shooting. We'll just put everything and lump it all together under gang violence to manipulate the statistics. And this is what the CRS does. I put up the stats right up there. You guys can see for the school shootings. But if a white guy goes in there, the CRS will be all over it. Mainstream media will post it across the whole country. Look at the evil white man. And that is the CRS. The ones behind this. And you can go to they have an X account, by the way. It's DOJ_CRS. And they have pictures of all the people that work for them sitting around tables. And what do you notice? They're all blacks and browns working for the CRS. That's the problem. But yeah, go ahead, Rush. You can jump in there.
Yeah, no, I mean that's why your post a couple back. I mean, it is the Department of Justice doing this to us, along with the CRS, but also the judges. I don't know if you heard Susie when she came up, General, but she was expressing how that county, she would see nothing but cases like this come across the table, and the judge would be lenient on the black. The black defendants and be very vitriol and put huge huge sentences on all the white defendants. And the reasoning behind that, guys, is every one of these judges are put on a microscope. The ones that are white, they look at every one of their cases, and the majority of their cases come from the black community when they live in cities like this. So the majority of the defendants they see are African American, and they look at their sentencing over time, and they'll just look at every single case, the person's color, and if they were sentenced above or beyond the statutes, and that's how they try to cart these judges with civil rights. Say that they're violating people's civil rights, and they use that against the judges. So these judges know that. So that's why they will specifically sentence ethnic Americans for much larger times, and African Americans for much shorter times, because it is always checked, is always looked at, and it's almost like they're pre-defending themselves, saying, "Oh, well, look at my record," and I sentence white people and I sentence African Americans. It is all about the system that we live in this country, this reverse racism, empathetic, cultural suicide nation that we found ourselves in. New Republic, you had your... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to respond because I heard Barry saying Republican judges do it too. And yeah, they don't have a choice because it's the DOJ, the CRS, coming down their neck. So, it doesn't matter if they're a Republican or a Democrat judge. They don't have a choice. They have the whole weight of the DOJ leaning over their head with a hammer. So again, it doesn't matter if they are Republican or Democrat. They're going to be forced to do this garbage, and it comes from the DOJ. That's the problem. But yeah, go ahead, Rush. Who was next? New? You said?
Yeah, the New Republic. Jump in there, man. All right. I don't see his hand up now. Maybe it'll
Well,
be back down.
let me tell you. Yesterday,
ahead,
if you saw the post from scammer Kash Patel, he said we are on this case from the first day. Okay, so why you didn't blast the post about this on the first day? You post when went viral. So that scammer, it's like totally scam guy.
Yeah, you think he wants to respond to that, or Harmeet Dillon? They're all being forced to respond to it because it's being shoved down their throats, and people are questioning it. You can see it in the comments. It's pretty white pilling to me how much can be pushed on X. I mean, we say it all the time. You know, we're the media now. This platform is extremely powerful. But yeah, Frank, good morning, buddy. Jump on in there.
Yeah, good morning.
Got to call Frank on the radio.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to add when I moved to the Bay Area about 10 years ago or so, and I would see in the little news blurb all the time about, you know, they call it the BART system, Bay Area Rapid Transit, and I see all the time, you know,
Frank, you're out in San Francisco or that area, right? The Bay Area.
My who?
The Bay Area.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're aware of this post, like what Gunther's referring to, where they won't release the footage.
Well, I never saw it explained that way, but I knew that it was an issue because every time they would have a story about an attack on the BART system, whether it was, you know, assault, robbery, whatever, they'd never mention anything about the identity of the perpetrator. So it was obvious who was doing it. You know, we got a lot of messed up darkies in the Bay Area. So it was, but it started to get really annoying because they'd never ever, because that's the first thing you do. Oh, the perp got away. You give a friggin' description of the person, you know, about how high they are, color hair, complexion, race always helps with complexion because then you know. But so it got annoying to the point where I'd call the BART police. I'd say, hey, I'm noticing all these attacks happening on the BART. It's looking like it's not safe, but I never see a description of the. I never see a description of the perpetrator. What's going on? And they'd give me some rigmarole excuse. And I'm just like, oh, okay, have a nice day. So, yeah, it is what it is. But I just wanted to chime in. I've seen this going on for 10 years, and I know it's been going on for longer.
Yes, it's been going on our entire lives.
Well, no, I'm just gonna say, there you have it. You got somebody that lives in the Bay Area telling you this has been going on for a good 10 years at least since he's been there. So, that's boots on the ground. And to Rush's point, that's why this app is powerful, because you can talk about a subject and you can have somebody who's boots on the ground. We were talking about like the Derek Chauvin before, and Brock was there. Brock's kind of boots on the ground on that. Like, that is why this app is so powerful, because you have people in all these locations that were, that they can give you testimony directly as we talk about these things. So again, just to reinforce what Rush was saying there. But yeah, go ahead to New. You got your hand up. Go ahead, jump in there.
Hey, I just wanted to say, sorry, earlier I didn't realize that you guys did the little hand thing, and I interrupted quite a bit. I don't normally hop into spaces like that, so this is my first time. I see you guys pop up all the time, but I'll never join. I'll be joining from the future. Just like to extend friendship to whoever's in here that has same like-minded stuff going on. I actually live in Baltimore, so I've been dealing with the blunt of this shit for 15 years since I moved here. I will say yesterday, Brandon Scott and all his cronies were walking around and they were not getting the reaction from the public that they were expecting. They thought they were going to come in and do a march, and Trump doesn't need to come bring the National Guard into Baltimore, and they got the exact opposite, even from the darkies who tend to cause most of the problems around here. We're even saying it's not safe. We need the National Guard. We need something going on because we don't have the high trust society that we can have when we have mostly European-dominated society, Christian values or whatnot. I think that we've been moving in the wrong direction for some time now. Just want to reach out to you guys and let you guys know I respect you. I respect the movement and how far everything's gone. We're finally shining some light on this shit. Like I said, I live in Baltimore, so I've been dealing with all this stuff for some time now. It's a welcome sight to see Elon supporting the free speech and everything that's going on here, and you're just seeing us wake up in droves. Just want to tell everybody thank you and give me a follow, and I'll follow whoever back. And I'm about to get back to work, and I hope you guys all have a good, safe morning, and take care.
Yeah, thanks, Conan. And yeah, we have. It's funny. One of the guys that comes in on our weekend space, Simple Man. He's a black guy that lives in Baltimore, and he was so pissed when Trump said he was leaving. They were moving from DC to Chicago. He was like, no. You have to come to Baltimore. You have to come to Baltimore first. We're so close. You can just take
absolutely. We're right here. Why would you come? It's an hour away.
But you're right. The black community. I mean, Simple Man was in there. He was like, no. You have to come to Baltimore first. Don't leave us hanging here. So I mean, yeah, you're right. Even the black community, they're fully aware of this, and they want Trump to bring the National Guard in there because it's a huge problem. But yeah, go ahead, Rush.
No, I mean that's hilarious, and I almost lived in Baltimore. I'm glad the smokestack fell and the union got put on a hiring freeze. Baltimore is one of the dangerous cities they make videos about, but this is happening all across our country. I mean, Seattle and New Orleans are much worse than Charlotte, North Carolina is, but yet we still get videos coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina like that. But if I could say, I mean, how awesome this space is and how much I appreciate everyone comes up and contributes. Not only this morning did we have someone from the Charlotte County where that woman was stabbed in the neck tell her account of 30 years of seeing court cases. Do we have Brock's firsthand testimony of the George Floyd case and the channels of the judges and everything? I mean, Brock, it would have been really great to talk to you during that time. The account of San Francisco and Colin Barton. I mean, it is really just a plethora of information, and it's like it is such a great space. It is a good point for it. I mean, but our show, it's the morning space is kind of involved to the Ethnic American broadcast. We have our website, ethnicamerican.org, where it's we turn the morning news show to an informational source of history, where we talk about who we are, or our people, because we've had our identity stolen away from us with more levels of propaganda, and we have to take our identity back as ethnic Americans, and we have to educate our people to our real history and what's been stolen away from us. And that's kind of what this show is involved into, but we're still the morning news show also. And stories like this, I mean, we need to push this, push General's post. This information is getting out there. General was just responded to by Elon. I mean, big things are happening. General's on the radar of Elon now. Because once he's responded to him, now Elon's going to start seeing General's posts in his feed. So I mean, America is waking up.
Yeah, and when you see most these stupid people just bashing Trump, just imagine Kamala in office. We will not have this space right now. That's for sure. And nobody thinking what could happen if she went and sit in that office. You will still have open border. Everything will be just the same. Elon Musk, if you think that he's not racist, then you are wrong. He was living in South Africa. He knows, but of course he cannot just bash everything in the face of everybody. Same as Trump, piece by piece to masterpiece.
Well, Trump also, you got to understand, he's the first year of boomer. Like, Trump is old and he's been around a long time. He remembers New York, how New York was supposed to be. You know, he remembers New York when it was New York, and he sees it now. I mean, New York is so bad that Trump doesn't even live in New York anymore. He lives in Mar-a-Lago. Like, that's how bad New York has become. Trump knows. And he knows what the issues. I mean, why do you think why do you think Trump revoked the refugee status for Haitians and Cubans? Well, what's the heavy population in Florida of these invaders? They're Haitians and Cubans right off the coast of Florida. So he's sick of dealing with these people. He's pulling their refugee status. He's trying to get them the hell out of here because he doesn't want to live around that. He knows exactly what's going on here. And you're right, Ivy. If Kamala Harris would have won, we wouldn't be on X. The West would be lost. I don't think people realize how big of a deal that is. The entire West, not America, not just America, but the entire West. You're talking about UK, Germany, France, all these other countries would be gone. Like right now, J.D. Vance was the first one. Before Trump even got in there, J.D. Vance started threatening Europe. You're going to give your people free speech, and you're not going to silence anyone. And you can't silence Americans anymore. So if an American is saying something on X that you don't like in your country, you cannot silence them on social media. So that's kind of been the ground. But Trump went over there too. I mean, Trump's mother is Scottish. Trump's mother was born in Scotland. She's Scottish. Trump just went over to their family property, and Keir Starmer ran up behind him with his tail between his legs. Like, Daddy, give a dog a bone. And Trump just turned around and blasted him for pulling free speech and invading the country. And you got posts from Elon Musk telling Ireland and the UK, rise up now. Now's the time to rise. You have the support of America. Now is the time. If you are ever going to rise up, now is the time. If you don't rise up right now, his post was, if you don't rise up right now, you're done. That's Elon Musk's message. X wouldn't even exist if Kamala Harris got elected. She already stated that the two platforms that she was going to target were X and TikTok. She already had that in play. So we wouldn't even be here talking about this right now. Everyone in Europe would be totally effed. You know, Trump winning is literally saving the entire Western world. So when people get pissed off and say whatever they're going to say, just remember that Europe would be completely toasted too. And Europe is still in the fight for its life. Like I said, they've assassinated 11 members of the AfD political party in Germany to try to prevent them from gaining power. That's crazy. But they're doing it in America too. It's not like they did it to the lady in Minnesota because she voted along Republican lines. She didn't vote for the global homo to keep funding these illegals in Minnesota, so they assassinated her. And again, the international bankers, they said it at Jackson Hole last week that they're the ones responsible for flooding the West. They openly admitted to it. And now they're assassinating any political party who's against that. You got Maduro coming out and admitting that he works for the international bankers. You got Trump firing, well, he's been going to war with Jerome Powell since before he got in there, but Trump fired the governor of the Federal Reserve and all the international bankers in Europe started chimping out. They said, this is going to end democracy. So, I mean, they're losing their mind to the point where their only option now is just to start assassinating people. They tried to assassinate Trump twice for it, too. These guys, how many people did they assassinate in Mexico to get Steinbaum in there? 38. So, I mean, the bankers have their back to the wall, and they're shitting bricks. They're freaking out. They're killing everybody. That's all they can do at this point. You know, they killed JFK too. I made a video on this where the CIA, when they released those files, the CIA said we have a new Jew backer, but we have to deal with JFK. We have to take out JFK. And then in the other document that was released in 1989 from the Kennedy files, Ted Kennedy, by the way, it named that banker as Byron Guy Rothschild. And he set up Five Star Trust. And you know how he set up the unlimited black budget for the CIA? You know, when the CIA published that document stating we have a new Jew banker or new Jew backer that's going to give us unlimited funds, we just have to take care of JFK. He set up Five Star Trust, and the way it's funded is from the drug cartels. And Rush, I'll bring Rush in on this. What did you see when you were at the bases in Afghanistan?
Poppy fields as far as you can see.
Poppy fields as far as you could see, right next to the base. The U.S. military was protecting the poppy fields. Why? Because that's how the deep state gets all of its funding. You guys ever watched a movie called The American Gangster with Rick Ross from the Vietnam War? They were shipping all the drugs from Vietnam into America, and Rick Ross was a distributor for them. That was the deep state. That's how they were getting funds. You want to go look at the Iran-Contra? Same thing. That's how the deep state gets all its funds. That's how the bankers operate.
They did that movie American Dad, didn't they?
Yeah, cover that.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Cruise, American Made. They didn't necessarily name it, but that will Iran bomb stuff.
And Brock, I want to bring Brock in this. What did Whitney Webb say in her book, Brock, about the drug cartels?
I'm not sure what Whitney Webb said in her book about drug cartels, but maybe if you can remind me.
She said that if the drug cartels were to be shut down, that Wall Street would totally collapse.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Certainly a lot of funding would be stripped from Wall Street.
Yeah, Wall Street gets a ton of its funds from the drug cartels. And what did Maduro just get done saying? Maduro just got done saying that, here, I'll put in the jumbo if you guys want to see. I made the post an hour ago. Maduro is admitting that he works for the international banking cartel. And what it says here is that 85% of all the cartel funds go into the banking system in America, up north, he says. So all those hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars off the drug cartels are being funneled into the banks, the international bank. And who's Trump going to war with? Trump's going to war with the international bankers. He's going after BRICS. He's going after the cartels because that's how these international banks get their funding. He's going after it all. So that's the move. We saw this a year ago, and we were calling this out, and everyone called us crazy. And now here it is. It's all in your face. So yeah, Trump's waging war on the banking cartels, the international bankers. And all those guys who kept saying, oh, he's bought off by the Jews, the Rothschilds bailed him out. Like, yeah, that's why he's going to war with them, because he hates their ass. with the terms and all the shit they put him through. They tried to destroy him and put terrible terms on him. And now he's pissed. And he's going to war against these people. He's going to completely dismantle it. What'd he do first week? He signed the executive order to get rid of the world digital currency. Yeah, Rush, go ahead, jump in there.
And he also first week declared all them terrorist organizations. No, I just wanted to jump in whenever it was an opportune time, because I mean, this is the discussion. That war has spun up. Pete Hegseth went on a hoorah tour yesterday, where he was going to all the ships, basically spinning them up for war, telling them that they are at war, getting them ready. I think we are going to launch drone missions within a week to somewhere in Venezuela and possibly somewhere in Mexico also. I don't know if they're going to do this on two fronts, but it is the war we've been waiting for forever, and you've called it forever, General. I mean, just like yesterday you called it where Trump wasn't going to address the white woman stabbed in the neck. He was going to say Ukrainian refugee, and he said your exact words verbatim. I mean, it's crazy, the intuition.
Yeah, at least he said. At least he said something. Nobody before say anything. So give him credit. He cannot blast on the open. It will be too much people, step by step.
Well, no. I mean, this is amazing that Trump's even talking about it, because now it's forcing all the major news outlets to speak about it. And it's putting this whole situation on blast. You have all the big MAGA Trump supporting accounts also going at it. You got Elon Musk, all his supporters going at it. You have the world going at it, and all the news networks are being forced to cover it. They're still trying to put their spin on it, but they're still having to give it air on the national news networks. And that's how powerful X is. Like, you can put that kind of pressure on these other news outlets to force them to have to cover these, even when they do a piss poor job, they're still covering it, and now people are seeing it, and they didn't want people to see it. So that's important.
Hey, can I throw something in there real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Hey, I just wanted to say that I have a job that kind of lands me in DC from here every now and then, and I got to go check in at this little guard shack, and I was just noticing last month, whenever I was there, it lists all the contracts that are supposed to be showing up so they can check them in to get past the security checkpoint. I actually go again tomorrow. This time I will be prepared and I will be recording it, because we were told that USAID has been shut down, but last month whenever I was there, 90% of the contracts and the people who were supposed to be showing up to JFK in DC said USAID beside them. So I'm just a little confused if there's spinoff programs or if we're just being bold-faced lied to. And maybe you guys have a little bit more reach to get that out there.
Well, Trump said in regards to USAID, we got to be a little bit careful, because the apparatus of USAID is in theory, it's a good apparatus to have our fingers in other areas of the world, but the way they were using it to launder all the money was the problem. They cut all those programs out of USAID. I don't think they 100% completely shut it down. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, if you can record that, that'd be great. Bring it to us. We'll put it on blast. We'll put it all over the damn place and make them answer for why the hell they told us USAID was shut down when it's still in operation. So yeah, another boots on the ground. More information. More information people can get, the better. And let me be frank, you came back up.
Yeah, that kind of reminded me. Even though we're under a new administration, they said it, they're saying there's only two genders, blah blah blah. All right, stand by. And what have you? If you look at these universities, a lot of them are still doing the DEI thing. They just rename their programs. They'll name it Hope, and whatever. So we're still in a fight. to get things back to normal, because these people's brains have been broken like many years ago, and they're still propagating their communist Marxist agenda. So
yeah, I saw a post. Actually, I've seen 3 posts in the last 48 hours of people freaking out that they've seen white people on roofs again in the roofing industry. So yeah, even people are starting to notice that the contractors are actually having to hire Americans again, because all these illegals are leaving. These illegals, people keep saying like, oh, Trump he's only gotten 200,000 out. Like, no, he's only arrested 200,000, but we've had over 2 million self-deport just through the CBP app, and there's a bunch of them that don't go through the CBP app. They just shoot back to Mexico and go on from there. So there's millions of people flooding out of the country. It's not, people aren't sitting around. Also, another big news story that came out was that the Supreme Court, let me put this up here for you. Here it is. There was a big SCOTUS ruling yesterday. The Supreme Court of the United States government, they ruled 6-3 that Trump can run sweeping ICE operations in Los Angeles unimpeded. The three justices that voted no are Sonia Sotomayor, of course, she's Viva La Raza. Who else? We got Kagan. Kagan is in there. She's Jewish, so you already know what we're going to get with her. And then you have Justice Jackson, Ketanji Brown Jackson. So yeah, you got Viva La Raza, a Jew and a black sitting up there. We got to get the FBAs. Where the hell are the FBAs with this?
How did them New York City Jewish people get out of?
We gotta get these FBAs onto this Jackson, Ketanji Jackson. You know, they want to get rid of birthright citizenship. The FBAs hate this invasion of our country. They're pissed. And that Ketanji Jackson, that's their people. She's sitting up there. That's their responsibility. They need to start roasting the hell out of that lady and going hard on her. You know, that's their community. That's one thing I don't know if you guys know in this space, but black people absolutely hate this invasion. They do not want to be invaded. It's affecting their communities big time. So I don't know why they're not unleashing on this lady, especially with the birthright citizenship ruling coming up, because that would be big for the black community as well. They need to roast on that lady to no end. And you know how the blacks are. I don't think she's going to want to piss off the entire black community. They're the most violent people in the entire country. So they might have some play on her, but we'll see.
They will never call out black people. Black will never
not
call out.
blacks. I'm saying that the black community, it's their responsibility to get this justice under control. She's going against everything that they want in the country. Like, that's why I'm not worried about like Clarence Thomas, because he doesn't want these people in the country. He wants them the hell out of the country. He was a Black Panther. Like he like the modern day equivalent of the FBAs. That's what he was. He's Black Panther. He doesn't want these people in the country. Sonia Sotomayor, she's a Viva La Raza. She's from the terrorist organization La Raza that's been flooding our country. She's all about invading our country and destroying it. But the blacks aren't. The FBAs, like those hardcore guys that come in on the weekends and go crazy, those guys are the equivalent. They're like the modern day Black Panthers, and that's what Clarence Thomas comes from. But Overwatch, you got your hand up. Go ahead, jump in there.
Yeah, Kagan the Pagan and Sotomayor. Great. But yeah, they're that pattern you notice, General, with Little Marco and the rest of them,
saying South Asia or Southeast Asia or whatever word games they want to play when they really mean India. I've been going in on them and that. Now they're starting to come in on me saying I failed geography. They're getting mad about it. They're pissed off that we noticed that because that's their. You guys caught that, and it's just funny. They're starting to come in on me when I post out about it and say, yeah, that, and you know, if you go, if you Google it, it says yes, India is considered part of Asia, specifically located in the southern region known as South Asia, and more importantly, it's one of the largest countries on the continent and plays a significant role in its cultural and economic landscape. So that'd be like referring to the United States and just not including Texas or California or something. That's just retarded. But they're pissed off about that. They're starting to come in on me because I've been shoving that out there. People are starting to notice that he never says India. A bunch of them never say India.
Yeah, we know what their plan is, right? We've seen it all along. We've been calling it out. And I'm really, we got to keep a sharp eye on little Marco Rubio. His brother-in-law is a famous drug trafficker. So he's married into the cartels. And dealing with all this stuff, that's why when we were entering this war with Venezuela, he was trying to put all the blame on China, Russia, and Iran. And he was saying it's not the drug cartels. That's what he was saying. He said it's not the drug cartels, it's China, Russia, and Iran. He was running cover for the drug cartels because his brother-in-law is a notorious drug trafficker, cartel member. So, yeah, I mean, Marco Rubio, and it's the same thing with Marco Rubio. He's a lifetime rhino. Everyone knows it. Everyone was pissed when Trump picked him. All of MAGA was pissed when Trump picked him. But because he's there, everyone's like cheering him on. And now we're going to war with the drug cartels, and he literally is the drug cartel. So, you got to call it for what it is. We don't give a shit. We call out the facts, and we don't care if it's on the right or the left. Whatever is the truth, you have to call it out. You have to have real data. You have to have real information. Otherwise, you get caught with your pants down. And that's what we do on this show. We cover all sides. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're on the right. We call out people on the right all the time. We're constantly calling out like this Harmeet Dillon for all her nonsense. They're pulling Kashyap Patel for all his nonsense, trying to destroy MAGA. And it's funny because a lot of MAGA fell for it. They were saying, oh, it's Pam Bondi. It wasn't Pam Bondi. It was Cash. Like, are you blind? Are you retarded? All the files were sent to him. Pam Bondi did exactly what she was supposed to do. She got the files from the Southern District of New York and had them sent to Cash. As soon as they hit Cash's hands, everything went to shit. And then he doctored up that video. And Pam Bondi, the reason why they got pissed at her, she was like, F you guys, I'm releasing this. And they were like, no. If you release it, it's going to expose us as the bad actor liars. And so she did it anyways, like a boss. Pam Bondi, she's not stupid. She played him. And she released it. And then you saw Kashyap and Bongino screaming like little fucking girls and running around the White House throwing a fit and attacking Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi and all these women in there going after them. Because Pam Bondi exposed them. As soon as she released that video that they doctored up, that supposedly showed that Epstein killed himself, well, all the tech guys and editors went in there and said, no, this is digitally altered. It's not the real video. We're not stupid. And then Kashyap fell on his face. But it took a long time for MAGA to even come around to that because I don't know. It just, to me, all this is like, it's so common sense. It's so simple. It's right in your face. But these people just they can't see it. I don't know. Stop listening to every single thing and start putting the pieces together, guys. Start using your brain. It's your most valuable asset. It was given to you for free. Use it. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's exactly what they did. And then they wanted to get rid of, when they threw their little fit and said, you're either going to get rid of Pam Bondi or you're getting rid of Dan Bongino and Kashyap. Then you had Megyn Kelly coming out and saying we should replace Pam Bondi with Harmeet Dillon. Like, there it is. They want to get rid of Pam Bondi, an ethnic American, and replace her with another Pajit, another Indian, of course. You know, and that's why they did what they did. It's you know, you got to look at the pieces. You got to look how it's going together. And then a bunch of rumors started floating around that Trump was going to get rid of Cash Patel. So, yeah, Cash App's a bad actor. He's part of the deep state. All these people who are India and India First are all part of the deep state. The deep state is desperate, 100% desperate to build up India. And that's why you see Indians all over our politics now. It's the deep state installing them all over the place. But yeah, Overwatch, that's awesome. You know you're over the target when they all start shitting themselves.
Well, General, I was talking about this maybe last week. Now I see that government stop all visa application from third country. Let's say here in Middle East, if they live here, so they do application for United States from here. Now that is stopped. And it's true. I'm in the Middle East. All ads, when I'm on Google, on X, it's, you want to work in United States, you want to work in Canada, apply here for job. It's everywhere. And it's not for GCC people. It's for Indian here, Philippines, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Pakistan. And that's how they're doing the third country, not original. So they're skipping lots of steps and getting fast processing to get visa in United States. That's also huge problem. But I saw somewhere post that they stopped this, and good for them.
Well, even at the universities, like in Boston, I covered this on the show, I don't know, when the school started. All these international students, they don't even want to come to America anymore because it's so volatile. They don't know if they start going to school and after the first term or after the first couple months, Trump pulls all their visas and sends them home. So they don't want to risk that. So they just stayed in their own country or went somewhere else. They didn't come to America. Now in Boston, all the housing that normally gets filled up by all these international students is all vacant. And it's driving the rent prices way down in Boston. I mean, like, it's going rock bottom. And normally it's through your ears. You can't even get a place for any decent rate. So yeah, it's happening, and it's good. I mean, it's funny. Keep an eye out, guys. You're gonna start seeing a lot of people say, like, I've been watching for this, and I'm telling you, the last couple of days I started seeing it finally, and people freaking out like, holy shit, there's white guys on the roof. There's white guys on the roof. There's white guys roofing again. You know, so you're gonna see it. Just keep your eye out for it and start paying attention. They are putting white people back to work. Americans are going back to work, and that's why Trump is running this whole campaign through the Department of Labor. Like, get back into the trades, because if we get rid of all these people, you're gonna need a lot of people to come in and get back to work on this stuff. We used to have a guy that come in all the time. He worked on roofs, and he'd be on the space while he was roofing up there. So, you know, it's coming. It's coming back. They're gonna be forced to hire Americans again. Yeah, Overwatch, go ahead, jump in there.
He's probably super busy, General. That's why he hasn't been back on the space. But I posted the Purple Pill account with the gray symbol on there, and he was complaining about the healthcare. You know, we don't have enough like nursing home and healthcare people. I was thinking about Ivy, and I went in on him and said, yeah, because it's flooded with nons. Nobody wants to work there. The wages are depressed, and it's gone to shit. You know, of course he's probably going to throw that out there so we can get more H-1Bs in here and flood it even more. But yeah, it's nothing but a bunch of nons beating the shit out of white people and stuff in there now. It's horrible. Some horrible stuff, just like that you know, videos we've seen of that black guy beating that incapacitated old man, and they're in the nursing home just beating the shit out of him. going like he was on the street in New York in a street fight. And the guy's just laying there, you know, just more horrible stuff, just like that stabbing, you know. But they're doing it. These nuns are in there doing it to our elderly. Don't if you can help it, don't put your parents in one of those places if you can avoid it at all costs. And if you do, you better get up there and check on them on the regular. I'll land it.
Yep, and there's another story that's been coming out here too. You know, we've been pissed about all this anti-Semitism bullshit. They're going after it. Well, I'm starting to see them coming back hard on the Christian side, the anti-Christian behavior that's been going on. Trump came with a big statement the other day saying we're going to end this. I saw Tom Cotton rip the CEO of Kroger a new a-hole on that whole thing by firing a couple old ladies, like 70-year-old ladies that didn't want to wear a faggot flag on their shirt, and they because they were Christian. And now here's the documents. I put them up in the jumbotron there too. It's describing how Biden's DOJ was running an anti-Christian campaign, and any parents who didn't want to indoctrinate their children with LGBT faggotry, they were treating them as terrorists. The DOJ was directing the FBI to treat parents as terrorists if they didn't want their children to be indoctrinated into LGBT faggotry. So there it is. Trump was right again. It's right there for you. It's up there in the top, in the jumbo there. So it's, you know, that's another big win. That, you know, if you have kids, that it's huge. For people who have kids, this is massive. You know, I don't want my kids being indoctrinated with faggotry. So yeah, it's been exposed now. Yes, it was the Department of Education and it was the FBI. Well, it was the DOJ directing the FBI to do that. And that just shows you how problematic the DOJ is with the CRS and all the other stuff we've been exposing. The DOJ has been an absolute nightmare for America. They are going after all the Christian stuff, the anti-Christian, all that's coming now. It's coming like a freaking waterfall. I see it everywhere. All this, the Congress is going after it, Senate's going after it. You know, you have the DOJ is flipped. They're getting rid of it out of the schools. They're getting rid of it out of corporate America. They're viciously going at corporate America on this for all their faggotry pushing and anti-Christian. So it does look like this is going to shift. Universities, I don't know how they're going to. I think the way they're going at the universities is Trump is going to come up with a new accreditation system. And to be a part of that accreditation system, they're going to have to cut all DEI and faggotry out of there. Yeah, Beirut Bay, go ahead, jump in there.
Yeah, I wanted to, touch on the U.S. aid. I know somebody had mentioned it, and I know Trump, they said, canceled 83% of the U.S. aid since March. So, I mean, he got most of it. You know, you're looking at, 17%? You know, that's still out there. And the Tucker Act it's a mechanism that these contractors are using against Trump and bringing them into federal court. But it can only award these contractors damages. It don't mean that they can continue funding these contractors. So even though they can fight Trump, that don't mean they're going to get the contract. They can only get, money for the suit. So 83% of U.S. aid has been canceled, So you're going to see some stuff out there like that fella said. I think it was from Baltimore. I think he was working out in Baltimore. And, so there'll be some out there, but, you got 83% of it. I mean, God almighty, that's pretty damn good. And just imagine where we would be if Kamala was in there, You got what General just posted with that DEI Garland going after calling parents terrorists. I mean, that's treasonous in my eyes. And then to use the government upon people that just care for their children, just want the best for their children. They don't want them to be gay. What the hell? I mean, that's, we should bring charges up against Garland and a lot of these other people. But with that, I'm going to leave it there. And that's what I got to say. Thank you.
Well, listen, Trump needs some money.
They've been going after Garland, so we'll see where it goes. But I mean, people are posting in the comment section there already, like these retards, like, we're never gonna see justice. This is all theatric. Like, they're cutting this shit out. I don't care if they hang these people or not. I'm not worried about those people. I'm worried about my kids. Like, it's not theatrics. I'm worried about the kids. I'm worried about my children. Like, people who have children, you can tell all these effing retards down in the comment section, all right, they don't have kids. They're just full-blown retard spurs. Like, if you have kids, you're worried about your kids being indoctrinated, or worried about, as a parent, if you go in there and say, I don't want my kids learning faggot shit, and I'm going to be a terrorist now because I'm telling them to piss off with their faggotry. Like, this is where it's at. This is the issue. Like, if you don't have kids, obviously you don't give a shit. Like these retarded spurs, none of them have kids. So again, this is about your children, our children, not being attacked because they're Christian, and the parents going in there and saying, I don't want my kids being around this garbage, and not getting labeled as a terrorist. That's what this is about. And Garland, we'll see what happens to him, but they're already going after him. But yeah, Ivy, go ahead, jump in there. I just want to point out the retardation of these people.
Of course, they are retarded. I was just about USA ID. Well, Trump needs some money to help Europe. So I believe that open parties just to help. Look what's happening since he's in office in Europe. Everything is falling down. Netherlands government is down. Yesterday, France government is down. People are on the street. He's shifting. He disturbed whole world. In some part is a good, in some part is a bad, but he shift everything. And whoever doesn't understand what is game of politics, they're just indoctrinate in one side of Jew, or one side Muslim, or they don't understand. So much shit happening in Europe, and for Trump, Poland and Hungary are the best friend for the future of the Europe, and they have a great relationship with Trump, and Trump is on their side, not on this Western. He knows who is dealing. When you saw last meeting when they sit around him in the Oval Office, that was so shameful for European Union. Like, everybody there doesn't have any clue about anything. They're just following order from whoever making them to do this, from Ursula, Macron, Steimer, name it, and they're all falling down one by one, and right is raising in Europe, and Europe is boiling, and it's a time. Now it's a time till Trump is in office. After that, I don't know if someone else come, what our future will be.
Yeah, thanks, Ivy. We're in a much better situation with Trump than we ever would have been with Kamala Harris, to your point. And we never would have heard about this story under the Kamala Harris regime because it never would have circulated on X. And it would have just been a local news story in Charlotte, North Carolina that never spread to the rest of the country. And as well as the DC shooting. I mean, all these things get swept under the rug. I'm trying to make a collage right now of events, and there was a case of a young, I believe he was 6 or 8 years old, boy that was stabbed in McDonald's with his family. A homeless, crazy black man just turned around and stabbed a little boy in his neck. As well as the case where the guy threw the little kid off the balcony. I mean, it's just case after case where the same 13% of our population attacked the majority of our population at an exorbitant rate. And the stories are constantly swept under the rug. But Twiddle, good morning, buddy. Good to see you jump in there.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Rush. Good morning, General. Barry, everybody, Overwatch, Zero. What's going on, guys? I just finished and posted it. I got like 4 I'm working on, but I wanted to work on this one first. It was kind of like a detailed breakdown. Like I did an intro thread on CRS, but this one's a little bit more in depth. We start basically like at the beginning and then show how not only are they infiltrating every aspect of society, but I bring receipts. Everything's backed by sources that are legitimate, not from X. They're not from what is it? That Patrick Bet David website did this thing on CRS, but I made sure not to like include any of that stuff. So if you guys don't mind, I did put down in the pill, but I would love to throw it up in the nest so you guys can just have it quick access. It's 15. It's 15 different little bullet points. Talks about everything about what we've been talking about, but a little bit more in depth. Everything from the CRT DEI stuff that they it proves through statistics, and like the CRS thing is like 60-70% of the time has always been anti-white. So yeah, I'll throw it up in the nest for you guys. I'm trying to go into work this morning, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it. So yeah, I'll throw it up there for you guys to check out, and I appreciate you. So I got like 4 more I gotta make, but it's coming.
Perfect, appreciate it, buddy. What are your thoughts on CRS being merged with the Department of Justice? Do you think it's going to work in the Department of Justice as a dark secret entity and still exist? Because it seems like all those lawyers got transferred and the duties are still being completed. Or do you think CRS might be able to, if we can bring enough attention to it, maybe we can get that entire office knocked out of the Department of Justice as it's trying to burn?
Yeah. That's part of one of the threads I'm working on. Was I was trying to get all the like most current things where this has actually been brought up to someone's attention. Trump talked about it in his first presidency, but he also has talked about it in this one too. So even if they do get, like, their budget's already small. It's like 12 million or so, I think, a year, 15 million, something like that. But they'll just put it down into the Civil Rights Division, and they'll have, I want to say there will be more transparency, at least with that, because getting FOIA requests, I was doing research on that, compared to DOJ, Civil Rights Division, CRS's stuff, and then a couple other smaller divisions. But regardless, we'll be able to probably actually get FOIA requests if it was scaled down. And what I was trying to find out is the further back you go, the easier it might be to get some of these FOIA requests, because everything's like, time has passed. But at the same time, maybe not, just because, they like to redact stuff. But The one I'm working on now, it talks a lot about that. So if we do reduce it, I think it just depends. It really just depends. If Trump really does know this is going on, then he's aware, and it's gonna get taken away. But that's what's cool about X and making these things, because I want to get this out there. It touches on so many things from the civil rights, and from their inception, they've been like completely a part of the Civil Rights Act and being anti-white, and that's the next big one I'm working on. I'm working on 4 of them, but the 2 that I really am working on is current stuff with CRS, and then like how we're going to actually dismantle it. So it's exciting, and I made sure to put ethnic Americans in like every thread. So I want to make sure we get that across to you, because that. Knowing what an American is extremely important, and ties in, like, makes things much easier to understand. Especially since this has not been taught forever, like in the last like 60 something years or whatever, probably more. Anyway, I won't take up too much time. I'm gonna stay up though, because I don't think I'm going into work, so I'm gonna keep writing and probably make another thread. But I definitely checked that one out. I threw it up in the nest.
Perfect. I hope you feel better, buddy. But I threw it up there in the jumbo. It's a great thread. Appreciate you compiling all that information. I mean, this is something we need to call attention to, because right now, the Trump administration could completely wipe this organization out, and the American people can, bring attention on this issue. It'll give them the leverage to completely wipe this organization out, and it's what we need to save America. We got to stop this. These organizations directly targeting ethnic Americans, and I'm with you, Twiddle. I only use ethnic American. I tried to.
I probably didn't capitalize the E a couple of times, but that's all right. But when Trump says, like, he's calling out the fake news and all that stuff, he's talking about this. This is the kind of stuff that gets thrown by the wayside or not even reported. And not to mention the changing of statistics, labeling certain ethnicities white to sway statistics. All that stuff plays a part in the CRS. Cameras in courtrooms, whether things are covered or not. I think you guys had mentioned the Daniel Penny thing. I saw something on Fox News yesterday where they were actually talking about this subject, sort of, but not in the CRS like by itself. They were talking about how the Daniel Penny thing was reported over 1,000 times, but like this lady, 0, nothing at all. And that's a huge part. Like whatever, like how the video got even distributed. Why did this video come out and not these countless other ones that I'm sure they're existing? It's because they're silenced and not allowed to do it, paid off, threatened. And that's what I'm working to try and prove. And I think Vaughn was in here yesterday talking about how we should start interviewing the judges, the victims. And I would harken to go back even further, like go back as far as you can to these older times and see what they had to say, because I'm sure it's evolved. Not only does CRS have like a really low budget, but like with social media and all these other NGOs and all the money that they give, they can pretty much do whatever they want. This conciliation, these lawyers, they have no one above them watching them at all. They don't answer to anybody. And I'll end it there. Sorry.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, no, we got to call these people on. Overwatch. Yeah, jump back in there, buddy.
Twiddle, I just wanted to say you're doing God's work, sir. Thank you for doing that. I pushed it out to several people. It is so important what you're doing. What a strange world we live in. I know we all have jobs. We all have to go make money. But I feel like the post, what a strange world where a post feels more patriotic, like you're doing something for your country, than going in and shuffling paperwork around in an office and stuff, Keep doing that. We'll keep pushing it out. It's just incredible, man. It makes me feel good to go in on these people. It makes me feel like I'm doing something for my kids, my grandkids, my country. This stuff is not a joke. It's important, and we've been laid down politically for so long. And it just feels like a tornado's coming, and I just absolutely love it. But I did want to say, Twiddle, talk to retired judges. See if you could get some retired judges that are out Especially on some of those older cases. I remember that one black judge, like he was kind of like a TV personality in California back a few years ago, and he was telling all the dirt on Obama and everything on talk shows and stuff. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But even locally, a lot of judges that are retired and already got their pension, unless they're being threatened with death or blackmailed or something, they will talk. So I'll just land it there.
Yeah, you need to bookmark. You need to bookmark this post and post every time when Harmy Dillon posts something and just blasting her because it's on her watch. So either she needs to go away or she needs to do the job.
Yeah, Harmy Dillon is CRS. And I mean, you brought up Daniel Penny, Twiddle, and I think that's a perfect analogy. Because the George Floyd thing, they like to argue, as a police officer, it's different. The Daniel Penny thing blew up. It was national news. Everyone was like, why is this a national news story? And it was because it was on video. Oh, it's because the video, we have video of it. And it's just such a big story. We have to talk about it. Versus this story where the video is much more graphic, much more compelling story. If the news media really was just trying to make money, and all of this is about money, and they just report stories of what will get the most interest, and that's the reason they push the Daniel Penny thing so hard, then why aren't they pushing this case? CNN's reported it, Fox News has reported it. Did a pretty funny they kind of reenacted the meme, the meme. I love using it, where it has interracial crime by demographic, and it shows black on white, way up there, and the very bottom, the least amount of interracial crime in this country after Asian on black is white on black. It's the least amount of interracial crime, of any substantial amount, and it has the news camera focusing in on just that one little block and ignoring the rest. And Fox News did that. They focused in on the white interracial crime, and then the guy joked and he zoomed out and he showed the 3 times the amount of black interracial crime. It's really much higher than that. Fox News is kind of skewing the statistics because they included Hispanics, and then they didn't communicate that to you. But even the media are memeing themselves, and they joked about it, how it was a meme. I mean, it's becoming pretty mainstream on this one story, and we have to push it. This is the time, like never before, where we can really push and change the narrative here on X. Like Overwatch said, it's effective. But Brock, jump back in there, buddy.
Hey, a couple of things really sparked me. One was Susie earlier this morning. I didn't expect to talk about those things, but also what you just said, Overwatch, about Joe Brown. So Joe Brown was that retired black judge who went to UCLA Law School. I believe that he ran for mayor in Nashville. I have emailed him, so Twiddle, I can try and dig that out and get that to you if you want to maybe do anything with that. Again, I have no idea. But with respect to these FOIA requests, I've filed a lot of FOIA requests in my life. So Twiddle, if you do decide to file anything, it might be a good idea. If it were me, I would probably send them to someone like me to review them before you file them, because it's really important to file them to the right authority that can produce the documents, and then be familiar with the appeal process, because they're likely going to deny them. So you have to kind of be prepared for this whole process. Again, it looks like CRS is being shut down, but it's not being completely shut down. We need to put as much pressure on it as possible. I can also send you a couple sample FOIA requests, Twiddle, that I've filed over the years, just to give you an idea. And I'm sure there's tons of examples online as well, so you know what you're doing. But I think that there's another thing. Judicial immunity blocks a lot of that twiddle. And so that's, there's a lot of immunities here, like prosecutorial immunity. So they use a lot of this stuff to block release. And so we kind of, need to think about maybe putting some pressure on the right people about maybe crafting some sort of federal statute on producing videos when these major public safety issues come out, like this video about the Ukrainian victim. And then one last thing, which is, Susie talked about how these black defendants get off scot-free, and then anyone white, if they're accused of sneezing in the wrong direction, looking in the wrong direction, stepping incorrectly on a sidewalk, they get the book thrown at them, their lives destroyed, their family destroyed. And that's exactly what happens to us as white people in this country, as Americans, as quote-unquote ethnic Americans. And everything she said is absolutely true. They've done it to me. I'm a prime example. All I've ever been accused of doing is posting lawful and peaceful content online, nothing out of line, and they come after me because of gag orders. They sidestep the First Amendment. So without rambling, I'm gonna post a video and some stuff in this feed here, but I'm gonna yield my mic.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks, Brock. Like you said, this is a pivotal time to really keep calling CRS out. I'm hearing it all over the place now. The cat is out of the bag. Everyone knows about this organization that is on the works of being disbanded. Just like USAID and New Republic brought up that they still seeing USAID stuff out there. It still is alive. It's alive and well in the Department of Justice. They may have lost their social media representative making $150,000 a year, but all those lawyers are likely still employed with the Department of Justice and did like a lateral transfer to the Civil Rights Division, like you're saying, and now they're going to push the Civil Rights Division of the DOJ like crack. That is kind of what these judges are based off of. The reason these judges all look at every single case with a racial bias in reverse in order to not be brought up on charges by these civil rights judges. So I don't know if it's empowering the CRS even more by putting them and making them a direct part of the Department of Justice. It has to be completely stamped out. We have to stop all of this reverse racism, discrimination in our society, sees at a high level, and use the Trump administration to do that. So it's an opportune time to push all this information. It's the perfect timing at the right time.
Rush, I'm looking up the comparison to the budget of the two, because you completely take out CRS from where they are, and you'll put them into the Civil Rights Division. It's 46 times more money, it says. So whatever 15 million is times 46, that's a lot of money. I was trying to look up there's bills to limit their stuff too. I'm working on some initiatives. I need some help. There's so much stuff to go through.
Yeah, buddy, we'll help any way we can. There's a ton of information. And the important thing is trying to find out what's pertinent. It would be really great if we could find cases of situations where stories were silenced or stories were promoted in reverse, because it does seem like they're kind of going both ways on that. If we can get, I know it's going to be impossible to find without a FOIA request, a list of the cases that they've been involved with would be the most pivotal information, because we can use that in order to really track down each case one by one. I was trying to do that myself, just based off of memory. of recent cases and other posts I've seen of people posting collages of cases that have been completely wiped out of the memory hole. I noticed they missed some of the things on the collage, so I wanted to create some of my own. But it's hard to find some of this information because if you're using Google or any other search engine, it really does suppress the information. You have to use the cases by name, unfortunately. They will show you the opposite. If you're looking for a teen couple or a couple that was raped by a group of and tortured and burned, very specific information. They will give you all return information of other cases that have nothing to do with the things you requested, but it's in reverse. It doesn't show the white couple being burned. It'll just show a black man attacking a black man or a black man attacking a black woman. I mean, it's very odd to prescribe information, or it'll show you like a white person doing something completely unrelated to any of the prompts. It's almost insane of how much they try to control the information in our search engines. I mean, that is the global homo. Even when we get rid of CRS, the search engines, the algorithms on most social medias, it's all completely prescribed to the global homo to get the effect that they want. But yeah, total.
Yeah, I've already compiled a list of every director the CRS has ever had. I even went as far as to see like what they were doing during that time as to what was happening around the United States. I have every one of them here. I even have the statistics. So the percentage of them, all 10. 6 out of 10 shows some level of perceived anti-white bias, and then the other 20% having a strong evidence. And I have cited everyone from the last one, which was Carla Dubinsky in the Biden era, all the way up to the first one, John McCormick. And he was he was a big one. Like, he even had a hand in writing not just the CRS into law, which is Title X, but all of the what's called Civil Rights Act stuff and all that. So there's more stuff I'm working on. I got a lot of it.
Oh, Russia, just reading, even in my newspaper, high school students in United States reading and math scores hit new low because you are educating your enemies. That's why.
Well, we're having trouble educating our enemies. I mean, it's funny. Vivek Ramaswamy, he's our enemy, but he's a wolf in sheep's clothing that tries to act like he's a conservative with conservative ideals. But that's all he talks about is this education lack, the drop in education in America. He wants to say it's because, lazy Americans have pushed that rhetoric. But that's why I like turning on the notifications for him. Specifically because we need to point out the real fact. The reason education is dropping in America and you see a steep decline since 1960 is that you can put the chart of education decline right next to the chart of immigration from third world countries. And as that other line progresses, you'll see the steep decline. We've invaded our schools with Nicaraguans, which their average IQ is, I think, 57. Haitians, their average IQ is 67. El Salvadorians, I think their average IQ is somewhere in the 60s or 70s. And into school systems where the average IQ of America used to be 100. And then it dropped down to 90 with all this invasion. The ethnic Americans of the countries, their IQs are still 105. And they're put into school systems of No Child Left Behind, and our children suffer. These programs with the English as a second language program, the government will give some kind of bogus grant to the English as the second language, and it almost like encourages these school systems to promote this crap. And what do they get with the grant? Nothing. They don't add another teacher. They don't They don't give more resources in the classes that have tons of English as second language. These kids that can't even speak English, they go home every day and their parents speak Spanish. They're having extremely hard times learning. It's completely ineffective, and it's all by design, and they know it is. They want to just keep dumping money and embezzling from America and keep pushing the global homo.
I saw a lots of video of students just going home and like parents asking why you are not learning anything in this class, and they taking picture of Indian teacher with thick accent. You cannot understand even what he's saying. So it's I saw maybe 70% it's foreign born teacher, from most of them coming from India. So you don't have even teachers, you don't have nurses. I don't understand that you don't have your nurses. Indian and Filipino nurses, they are not nurses. I work with them. I know them. They're just there to eat, sleep, and take money. That patient is just money for them. They will just do no clinical thinking, nothing, just robot. If you give them two things to do, she cannot do two things in one time, one by one. And why? Always, but sister. What kind of but sister? I work with them, and when I become a head nurse in this hospital, they try to remove me in every segment, and in that time I put on myself to be a sociopath with them, because there is no other way to deal with them. You need to show them the teeth, otherwise they will eat you to death. And talking Tagalog all the time, I believe it's the same if they are in group in any hospital in United States. They will talk their language. And they are not nurses, no empathy, no nothing there. So if you don't have your nurses, I don't know who has. They are not nurses coming with 2 years of school in India and Philippines. Oh, come on, people. Come on. And teacher, suddenly you need to import Indian teachers of all country. Why you are not importing any European teachers? Come on.
Have you seen the clip of the kid, saying, Dad asked me why? No, the father said, I asked my son why he's not math, and he sent me this video, and it had an Indian woman trying to teach math, and as she's speaking, you can't understand anything that's coming out of her mouth. It's almost a little comical looking at it. I mean, it would be comical if our children, our prosperity, weren't the victim of what they're pushing on us. I mean, it's sad looking at it, and these politicians are trying to use this as a talking point. We have to completely upend this and point out the real issues of America. What's really affecting our test scores in America? Does it have something to do with invading this country with 65 to 100 million illegal invaders? It's crazy times that we're in. Completely unprecedented.
Yeah, I've shown the business scores on this before. It's not rocket science. These people who are flooding into our country have, you can't fix IQ. You might be able to shift 4 or 5 points here or there, but you're not fixing what these people are bringing. And it's shown. Since 1979, we went from being number 1 on the planet with education to now we're like ranked 18, 27, 30, and all these different categories. And again, it's because the low IQ retards from third world countries they keep bringing in, and they show them with the business score. They show the breakdown. They show U.S. whites and U.S. Asians in the top 5 of the world, and then they show how far down the list America is, and you're like, wait, how come America is so far down the list if we're in the top 5? And then it shows mixed race, and then further down it shows Hispanics, and then at the bottom it shows blacks. So it's not rocket science. And then you got dumbasses like Vivek Ram Scammer coming out there telling us that sorry, neighbors going coming out and saying, oh well, China scores higher than us. I'm like, dude, Vivek Ram Scammer, India ranks number 72 out of 73 countries for the PISA scores. What are you talking about? Indians are retarded. That's the whole point. And China is cheating. China is not showing their accurate results. They're showing their highest performing schools on this, and then he's using that to claim that China as a whole is producing more. I mean, they have 500,000 rice paddy dwellers who can't even read. What's he talking about? That they have the highest education and they're outperforming us. It's total nonsense. It's all a scam. But that's what scammers do, like Vivek Ram Scammer, right? Yeah, go ahead, Baby Barry.
I don't know if Barry heard you, but a little bit of breaking news. It looks like the Saloon Cartel has had a huge backlash from the DEA, where they've arrested over 600 people from that cartel. But it's across the United States and Mexico. But 23 domestic divisions in the United States and 7 in Mexico were involved in arresting these guys. I think somewhere in Canada also. Just a huge drug bust to get these guys. But I mean, this is following due process. I wish we'd just end due process for these these drug dealers. But yeah, Barry, jump in there, buddy. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Perfect now.
Yeah. Oh, that's great news. Let's get the ball rolling on that. That's great to hear. And but what I was saying was, those H-1B1 visas. It's not just one person coming over for a job. They're bringing their wife. They're bringing their kids. And guess what? Their kids go to school. That's going to take resources away from your children, away from your grandchildren. So it's just more than one person coming over for a job. It's the whole damn family, And you look at the statistics, who's the number one home buyer? 46% or 48% are the Indians, and you look at the Americans, they're down there at 24%, I mean, come on, Americans. Come on, people. Wake up. Do a little homework. I know there's a lot of good people out there. They just ain't connected the dots yet. And this is what our job is to do, is to help them see the bigger picture. Help them see what really is going on. And with that, I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, it's a known problem. It's been going on for a long time. I mean, what do you see over there, Twitler, and your neck of the woods?
As far as what? Sorry.
Demographics at the universities?
Oh God, no! They're it's not ethnic Americans. There's a lot of foreign students, nuns, a lot of Indians actually. It depends. It depends on, because the school I'm at is not only a law school, but there's a JAG school for the military. There's a school of business as well. There's also the major university. There's 40,000 or 45,000 people in the city, and then there's 40,000 students in the city. That makes up the entire demographic of the city I live in. But for this university, not only is it's nuns, but like they're able to afford the housing that's around there, and the place that I'm at, I can't even afford that. So to think that all these people coming into this country can not only they're able to afford to go to these colleges, whether it's through grants or like if you're Chinese, it's completely paid for, and they'll buy you a house on the side to stay up in there while you're attending school. No, they're not ethnic Americans, and this is one of the founding colleges in America, universities actually. It was founded by Thomas Jefferson. I'll leave it there. I don't want to dox myself even further than I already have. But I don't really care. I'm not worried about it. I just want my country back. I work there every day. A lot of non-students. It's different at the law school. The law school, not as much. You have a lot of African Americans and Asians, but I don't see a lot of like Indians or any of the other demographics. More so at the business school than anything else. But yeah, no. And it's even worse the further you get into like Washington D.C. area. That whole entire area, there's barely any ethnic Americans left, and they're old money or they're living out in like Loudoun. But the demographics, especially in Virginia, that's why you see Virginia, turn blue, even though it's dominated by red everywhere except for the cities, Richmond, Charlottesville, and D.C. or like Northern Virginia, D.C. area. It's all. That's why that state sways all the time, kind of like Chicago.
Well, that's why they're desperate to push all these people into all these different schools.
And they get the money.
Yeah, they do. And then
the money's the biggest part.
That's the whole thing. And then Vivek Graham scammers up there saying like, oh, why are our schools like this? It's because they keep pushing all these retards, from literal retards from other countries into our school systems. And they're even using school of choice to force these guys in. So they'll put them in like the south side of Chicago, and then they'll bus them into other areas to F up the schools. And then you got Vivek Graham scammers sitting up there saying, well, what's going on with our school system? Well, you brought in a bunch of illegal retards and a bunch of these Indian retards with their entire families. That's what happened to our schools. And we're paying for it, and they're running around telling us like, oh, America's schools are falling apart. Well, no, they're not. They're just being invaded. And that's the biggest problem. You can't invade entire school districts with people who can't speak English and they have a 70 IQ at best. You can't fix that. You can't fix stupid. And this is the problem. And they're giving these people loans based on loopholes. That's why they're the number one home buyers right now. And you have all these NGOs that are putting their 20% down payments on their homes so that they can get in and buy up all the homes out from under Americans. And that's 100% why these people are coming in and buying up all the homes. That's the reason why foreigners are the number one home buyers in America, because they're using our tax dollars through NGOs